What's going on, everyone? Zach here with Card Stock Exchange, and today we have probably everyone's most exciting and favorite time of the year. It is transfer portal season. So we're about a day and a half, 2 days into the portal. Figured right now would be a great time to review just some of the key guys in the portal, where I think they're going to go, as well as where some of these guys are going to go. I'm not going to do like a bunch of these small school guys, really just some of the big names and kind of the reasoning why they're going to schools or why I think they're going to go there. So, as an Aggie fan, obviously some of these hurt because we have a lot of good guys in the portal and potentially more coming. So we're going to keep you guys up to date as much as we can on who's in and who's coming. So this is just a 247 sports rankings. It's just what they think are the top guys, and yeah, we're the crystal ball to go. So the first one we got is Walter Nolan. He was a number one, number two recruit in that famed Aggie recruiting class. That was number one all time. Walter, from what I've heard, he's entered the portal, but at the same time, apparently A&M is trying to recruit him back, i.e. he's in like negotiations to come back to A&M if they offer him a bigger bag. Don't know if that's true. That's just kind of what I've been told. And so, let's turn that up. And if he was to leave, I could see him going to Tennessee. He's from Tennessee. I believe at one point he was committed to Tennessee, or at least like a soft commit. So that's my prediction for him. It's funny that Aiden Charles is a number two quarterback in this cycle. It kind of goes to show the overall talent of the quarterback class, in my opinion, is a little low this year compared to previous years in the portal. Not saying Aiden's not good. However, he's not like a top tier, going to change your program kind of guy, in my opinion. Anyway, they're saying he's going to follow his coach to Michigan State. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't. Dante Moore is an interesting one. A lot of people have him going to Oregon or Michigan. However, I could see Michigan being more likely since Dylan Gabriel might be going to Oregon. With Dante, again, we saw a little bit from at UCLA. He didn't look super amazing. However, that could just be scheme. So I believe he stays in kind of a Pac-12 West Coast system, potentially going to Oregon if Dylan doesn't go there. However, if he doesn't go to Oregon, I could see Michigan or even Florida State. Again, some of these schools are, you just hear rumblings, but those would be my two predictions. Cam Ward, I think, would go to Ohio State. I think he fits that mold. I think one of Ohio State's biggest things this year was that their quarterback didn't have a ton of athleticism, couldn't really get out of the pocket in Cal McCord. So I think they're going to spice it up with Cameron Ward, and kind of get that quarterback up similar to Justin Fields, who could pass and throw. So that's my guess for that one. Antoine Juice Wells, a really good receiver back in 2022, had a kind of off year of injuries this year. I could see him maybe going to Florida State. I believe that's where Jaheim Bell from South Carolina went last year. But really, any school that needs a receiver. I mean, I don't see him going to Texas, who's been crystal ball for like a lot of these receivers. I think Antoine either goes NCC or ACC. So I'm going to guess Florida State, especially if they can land one of these big quarterbacks, but just my guess. Another guy, LT Overton. So for those who don't know, LT was the number one overall recruit in the 2023 class. He reclassified in 2022 and was still a 5-star. So he's basically the age of the 2023 guys, but this is his second year at A&M. So point is, he's young and really good. I have no idea where LT is going to go. I'm not going to lie. I believe he's from Florida. I could be completely wrong on that. Regardless, I don't really have any insights into where he's going to go yet. This was fresh like today. Could be a similar situation to Walter where he comes back. However, both him and his brother entered the portal. So Will Howard, I think, is going to go to Washington. I think he has shown that he can run kind of a a pro-style system in Kansas State. I think he needs some more of the air raid offense kind of mentality where he just goes out and chunks the ball. That's what Washington does. They're going to the Big Ten. I think that's a good fit. Riley Leonard going to Notre Dame. That one's not shocking at all. I think he knew before he was even in the portal. That's where he was going to go. Julian Fleming's an interesting one. I think he's going to go to Texas. I think he's from Pennsylvania, but my point is, I think he's going to go to Texas. Texas is looking for that receiver to replace A.D. Mitchell and Xavier Worthy, assuming they both go pro. I think Fleming fits that. He was a number one overall receiver in his class. I think he goes to Texas. Tobias Merriweather, I don't know too much about him, but going to Washington, following Will Howard potentially, yeah. Guys like Joey Slackman, I know nothing about. He's going to be one of those guys that just kind of has a bunch of offers apparently, and we'll see where he goes. Brock Vandegrift to Kentucky. That one is confirmed. That one doesn't shock me. Another one that we're moving on to is Jake Johnson. Max's brother also played at A&M. He just transferred to Carolina. I could see Jake going, following his brother Max to Carolina, but they are from Louisiana. I'm pretty sure. And Max did play at LSU, so I could see Jake going to LSU. I don't know if he was ever committed there, but there was rumblings of that when he was in high school, so I could see that being a fit as well. Next, Dylan Gabriel, like we talked about, Oregon. I think that's just going to be the best fit for him at this point. Kyle McCord's an interesting one. I was going to guess Louisville when he initially got in the portal. However, Louisville did end up getting their quarterback. I forget his name, but I heard today they did end up getting a guy. So I don't think obviously Louisville's not a fit anymore. Could I see a like Florida State? Again, I could see Florida State with a lot of these pocket passing quarterbacks. Other than Florida State, I could see him going to another Big Ten school like a Maryland. Maryland, I believe Talia is going pro if I remember correctly, or he's out of eligibility, one of the two. And Maryland's a good school in the Big Ten. He stays there, so I could see that being a fit as well. So moving on, that's fine. Chris Paul plays football now, right? Raymond, yeah, I heard rumblings about him going to Kentucky. I wish him the best. He's a stud, another Aggie. Like there's a theme here with Aggies. So I know I talked about Will Howard going to Washington. That's just what I would do if I was him. However, if he doesn't go pro, if he doesn't go to Washington, obviously Will Rogers is it. That's where they crystal ball Will Rogers. I could see Will Rogers going to a bunch of different places that have that ring, but looks like he's going to be going to Washington. But again, my guess for Will Howard would also be Washington, assuming Will Rogers does not go there. Next is Tyler Van Dyke. This one's interesting. He could stay in the ACC and go to Florida State. He was a stud about 2 years ago at Miami. Other than Florida State, I could see Tyler Van Dyke going to a Big Ten school. Could he go to a Michigan, right? He has a lot of traits similar to J.J. McCarthy with the running and the passing. So I could see him going to a Big Ten school like that. Yeah, other than those two, Kentucky, Louisville both got their quarterbacks. So I think Oregon's got Dylan Gabriel. So yeah, that's just my guess for Tyler. Grayson McCall, there's a lot of rumblings of him going to Auburn. Apparently that was almost a done deal last year with him going to Auburn. He didn't. He stayed another year. Grayson's interesting. I think it's hard to evaluate a lot of these Group of Five. I believe they're Group of Five, right? School in Coastal Carolina. How well do they project to these Tier 1 programs? I don't know. Grayson McCall in the SEC. We'll see what happens. I think that's where he's going to go. It'll be interesting to revisit this to see a lot of it, how it pans out. So DJU, assuming he doesn't go pro, I think Florida State's the obvious fit. I know Utah's quarterback into the portal. That could be very interesting if he went to Utah. They're a very good team, and I think they're going to the Big 12, right? So not a ton of stiff competition there with OU and Texas leaving. So I did not know Jordan McLeod was in the portal. That one's interesting. I think it's like his third time. Be curious to see where he goes. Kind of looking at this list as you guys are, kind of real time. Let's see, anybody else interesting to talk about? Trayshawn Ward's a stud. I believe he was at Florida State, so this is his third time transferring, I think. He'll be good wherever he goes. A lot of these running backs are plug and play, right? Like wherever they go, they'll be plug and play. Yeah, Bo Collins. My belief is he's going to go to Notre Dame. I think he's taking a visit this week or next. That seems to be a place where, again, I think, from an honest answer, I think a lot of these running backs and receivers are going to start committing once they see where quarterbacks are going. So if Bo sees Riley Leonard go to Notre Dame, I wouldn't be shocked if he goes to Notre Dame, right? So that's kind of my thought with a lot of these guys. Who else do we got? They don't have these rankings updated, by the way, because A&M had Chase Besantis enter the portal, and that dude is a stud. And he's an O-lineman, and sucks that we're going to lose him, but the dude's really good. And he was a 4-star coming out of high school. Started as a true freshman, made a lot of true freshman teams. I don't think they have these lists updated because he entered like a couple hours ago, and this dude would be top 10, especially with the lack of O-line talent in this portal class. So that's right. Okay, Louisville got Tyler's show. How do you say his name? Show. He was the Oregon quarterback. Was he Oregon? He went to Tech. He went somewhere from. God, I gotta look this up. Where did Tyler? I'm not gonna Google it. Point is, he was somewhere before Tech. and so I just went to Louisville. I mean, Louisville just kind of needed a quarterback. I think Tyler's all right. I think Louisville could have done better with either McCord or DJU, but more power to him, I guess. Max Johnson going to UNC. That was one of the first dominoes to fall, and why I kind of think his brother might be going there. I mean, good for Max. Wish him nothing but the best. MJ Morris. So this one's the interesting one, right? MJ has a lot of talent. He was pretty hyped at NC State, dual threat quarterback. He didn't really get a ton of playing time this year because Bernard Armstrong came in. It was supposed to be his year. I think he's probably going to be the one sneaky guy in this where, depending on where he goes, if he goes to the right fit, the dude's going to be a stud. I don't really have any insight into where he would go. I think he might wait for a couple of these dominoes to fall at like a Florida State, who's another team like Ohio State with Cam Ward potentially going there. So keep an eye out for MJ Morris. I don't think he's going to go to a big flashy school, but I think he's going to go to a good, D1 program. Is my point. So we'll be curious. Taylor Green is another interesting one, dual threat. A lot of these guys I don't really have a necessary like some of these lower guys like Bryson Barnes. He's good. Other than that, I don't really know where I can see him going. A lot of these guys I didn't even know were in the portal. Like Drew Pine, wasn't he just in there last year? I guess he graduated from grad transfer. So I guess that's it. That's everyone in the portal that they have ranked. It'll be interesting to revisit this in a couple days, see who's in, see who's not. I really hope A&M doesn't have any more high end guys on the portal. I mean, we can just take a look. And same with Fidel. I forgot he transferred today. He's another guy that will be a top 10 in the portal. He's a stud. So him and Chase, we'll be curious to see where they go. Look at all that. A&M, man. Keep the other guys. Try to limit this damage. Just wanted to react, give some initial reactions, give some initial thoughts where I think guys are going to go. Wanted to give you guys an overview of the portal. And make sure to like and subscribe, comment down below. And until next time, peace.